So this is probably 4 years ago. This was on the Regents exam, and I remember it because this is I've only ever had one person since they changed the exam that was almost definitely going to get 100. This came up on their test. The person grading it didn't like how she answered it, and so they took a point off, and she got 99. So I will never forget that because I'm still angry about it because the girl, did a really good job, and she answered this question fine. She just didn't use the words that that person wanted to see, and it was obnoxious, and I couldn't win the argument with them. Anyways, you got two triangular prisms. It talks these oblique triangular. Who cares? All right, it's two triangular prisms. All right. The problem with this, and what the problem with what my student said was, they said it's two triangular prisms with the same dimensions, so that have the same volume. All right. Now they obviously have the same dimensions. It's a triangle. 8 and 5 and 14. Okay. I still think that that's the right answer. All right. So they're both triangle prisms with the same dimensions. So they have the same volume. If you wrote that on something I was grading, I would 100% give you credit for it. If I saw that on anybody else that they were grading and they were trying to not give it credit, I would argue and fight with them to try to make sure that you got credit. Okay? Anybody who marked that off, they just have a problem. Okay? But this is technically what you're supposed to say. All right? They're triangle prisms with the same height and the same base area. So their volumes are the same. And if you want to know the mental gymnastics that this person went through to make sure that my kid did not get a 100, they said, well, the dimensions aren't exactly the same. The base of this triangle is 8. The base of this triangle is 5. The height of this triangle is 5. And the height of this triangle is 8. Okay, and that was their argument, even though it doesn't matter what order you multiply things in because of the commutative property. And I argue with them. I lost. I'm still mad about it. I'm done talking about it. All right, so you should write down that right there. Both triangle prisms with the same dimensions, so they have the same volume. All right, anybody with common sense will give you credit for that. If you want to know technically what you're supposed to write in the perfect math language, you're supposed to say triangle prisms that have the same height and the same base area, so their volumes are the same.